Greetings, whiskey folk, and welcome back to Drinking Out Loud. My name is Adam Bradshaw, and I'm here at the Strath to tell you all about Perfect for Tannin from the SMWS Canada September 2023 Outturn. Now, if you're watching this video around the time of release and you're wondering what happened to the Outturn videos, why are they so short? Well, I've broken them up into individual bottles now. So if you want to watch the rest, you'll find links in the description of this video, or you can just go to the channel page and you'll find the rest. But this is number 2. This is the second bottle in the lineup today. All right, here are the official tasting notes from the SMWS. A superbly rich, heady and aromatic dram, instantly full of medicinal oils, scented hardwood resins, bow rosin, candied pecan nuts, wormwood, lanolin and sticky cinnamon swirl pastries. Water added the richness of pumpkin seed oil, rice wine and aromatic notes of gorse flower, dried mint, new leather and potpourri. The palate was immediately deep and warming, displaying some intricate wood influences, toasty oak spices, vanillin, winter mulling spices, salted caramel, cinnamon sugar, flour, honey, and dates. A lot going on. With water, we found it became creamier and sweeter, with a wonderfully thick body of cloves, mandarin liqueur, vanilla cream soda, melon cordial, and hibiscus flower. It was matured for 9 years in a bourbon hogshead that was then transferred into a first fill, 60-40 split, hybrid, American and European oak hogshead with toasted heads. Little bit playful on the finish there. SMWS has started not only making their own finishes, but making their own custom casks for finishing in, which is kind of cool. Well, I'm sure they didn't make it themselves. I don't think the SMWS has a cooperage, but they probably worked with Speyside Cooperage or something to make these casks. Or they found the casks, maybe somewhere on market. It seems unlikely. They're pretty specific. Yeah. Lovely little whiskey. One of my favourites from this month's Outturn when I tasted it previously. It's going to be my 3rd time tasting this one, so let's see if it holds up to my memories of previous tastings. It's about a week after the last, the second of the 2 Outturn preview tastings here in Victoria. So I've had a week to think about my experience and form false memories, probably, because that's what we do as humans. Let's see what I think of it today. Ooh. A little fruitier on the news. A little fruitier on the news than I remember it being before. I'm getting sort of black currants on the nose this time, which is fun. Not quite as sweet as a blackcurrant jam, but yeah, like fresh black currants, which is nice. I can't remember the last time I had a fresh blackcurrant. You know, it might be the last time I had a fresh blackcurrant might have been at a bar in Belgium called Tixelka, in Bruges on Karmastraat, I think, down the road from the convent I used to stay at. And for some reason, their salads, and don't worry, I wasn't ordering salads. I was I was a teenager when I was eating there. I wasn't getting salad. But if you had like a lasagna or something, it'd come with a side salad. Always had fresh either red berries or blackberries. Red currants or black currants on them. Weird memory. I always thought that was kind of interesting. I love that bar. Really good. I had a beer there, which is really popular in Belgium, called Kaiser Karel or Charles Quint. I think it depends whether you're in the Dutch or French side. That comes in a mug that's got either 4 handles or 3 handles, again, depending on whether you're in the Flemish or French side of the country. There's a big, long story. It's very interesting. I'll see if I can bring some back when I go to Belgium later this year. Maybe I'll do a video on it, because it's one of my favourite beers of all time, but they don't export it, which is a real shame. Anyway, back to the whiskey. I chopped the video up into smaller portions to make them a little bit shorter. I might end up rambling about Belgium for an entire half hour, and it might end up the same size as a regular Outturn tasting. Anyway, I love Bruges. This is a lovely, lovely smelling whiskey, and as rightly it should be, because I've had it twice before and I absolutely loved it both times. So I'm diving in for a taste. So I'm going to start with the finish, which, yeah, caramel coffee, like coffee flavored caramels, or coffee toffee on the finish. Yeah, really, really gorgeous finish on this, and it lasts for a long time. It's deep and it's dark and it's sweet as well. But before all of that, there is that interesting floral note that does potpourri they mentioned in the book. I kind of see where they're coming from there, because it's not fresh and delicate, but kind of a dusty old floral note. Yeah, a little bit like oh god, I've got memories of clearing up like old dried up flowers from an event. Oh, yeah, like it's like it's actually kind of a weird, sad memory in a sense. Clearing up the flowers that have been left out at the memorial on Remembrance Day, which, for those who aren't familiar with Remembrance Day, because it's not apparently in every country, where is it? South America. We had some people from South America working in the building, and they had no idea what was going on November 11th. So, yeah, it's a remembrance of the fallen soldiers during the World Wars. And yeah, you put floral wreaths down at a central point in all of the towns and cities, and yeah, it was one part of my job when I worked at the church to clear those up after enough weeks had passed to make it a good idea to clear them up. A respectful amount of time. Yeah, it has that sort of dried, the crunchy leaves that have a little bit of life left in them, but they're kind of just dried up. Interesting. Yeah, I really like this one. So, the particulars. Why do I like this one? Well, we already know that it spent 9 years in a bourbon hogshead before being finished in that 60-40 split custom cask. And I like when there's a mix of American and European oak in a whiskey. I like when there's a mix of anything in the whiskey, because at the end of the day, you just get a more broad, more complex flavour. I really got into whiskey with a love of blended whiskey, where you get a lot of those more varied flavours across the entire thing, often not quite as in your face as a single malt flavour profile, but have that mix of wood and sometimes a mix of distillate as well, can bring an interesting twist to the formula that is whiskey. And in this case, we've got, just one spirit, one run of the still, but it's seen multiple different types of wood. And honestly, the type of wood is almost in some ways more important than what that wood used to contain. Whether it's ex-sherry or ex-bourbon, sometimes doesn't matter anywhere near as much as whether it's ex-American or ex-European oak or ex-any other kind of oak. There's not just the two. All right, so this is Speyside. It's 64.138 is the SMWS code. Distillery 64 is a Manachmore, which, great distillery. It was built to be a sister to the Glenlossie distillery. It's pretty much on the same site back in 1971. You very, very rarely see it as a single malt, even in the UK. It's a blending ingredient, funnily enough. I was just talking about blends. But yeah, this is an ingredient that is sought after by Diageo, who own the distillery, for some of their blends. And I don't know if this is still the case, but in the past it was most prominently featured in the Dimple blends, which I used to love those bottles. They're really cool looking. I haven't seen Dimple on the shelves in years. I don't even know if they're still making it. Let us know in the comments if you've seen Dimple recently. It's a fun whiskey. I like Dimple. This is a sister cask to a whiskey that we've actually had before, Going Lux from February. And as I'm saying that out loud, I'm just remembering that I was going to do a side-by-side if I had a heel still. So let me just have do I have a Going Lux behind me? I don't think I do. Sorry, no side-by-side. But it feels really different to my memory of Going Lux. I don't remember Going Lux being quite as pointed as this one, quite as sharp, quite as cutting in its flavour profile. Lovely whiskey. So yeah, this is aged for 13 years. It was distilled on the 12th of May 2009. 219 bottles came out of the cask, and it is 58.1 ABV. Yeah, lovely. Available while stocks last, and this one is particularly limited. I think we only got one case of this. It is $234.70. So if this sounds like it might be up your alley, act quick. And if you don't see it on our site, strathliquor.com/SMWS, you might be able to find it at one of our other partner stores across the country. So hopefully that helped. The whole point of these videos is to try and help narrow down which bottle you might want to take home from the Outturn. So yeah, hopefully this has tickled the interest of a couple of you, because this might have been my favorite. I mean, having a favorite of an outturn is always really hard, especially this outturn. There's many reasons for me to have many favorites, but this one I think is the one that surprised me the most out of all of the rest, and that's, in fairness, one that might be my actual real 100% favorite. Is kind of out of the running because I've already tried it before. More on that one later. Anyway, this was a pleasant surprise. See you in the next video.
Folks out here